Good morning. Good morning to everybody that supports a team that hasn't lost 4 games in a row. Good morning to everybody that supports a team that has won back-to-back games. Manchester United 2 points behind Liverpool, 2 points off European spots. Good morning, people. Winning at Anfield for the first time in 10 years. If you haven't woken up happy, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I don't care that it maybe wasn't the best all-round performance. I only care about Liverpool losing and Man United winning when it comes to Man United versus Liverpool. We could have played the worst football I've ever seen, and if we'd have won 1-0 and got the 3 points, I'd have been gassed. I think we played decent football. I think we created our own luck because I think Bruno could have scored. I think we had chances. I think we did enough to win the game. You could argue a draw would have been a fair result with Gakpo missing sitters and hitting the post 3 times, the Isak chance, the Salah chance. But we created our own luck because I thought the first half was good. The second half was a bit cowardly. But look, Maguire is there. We have moments, players in Bruno and Maguire that can win the game. Liverpool have won a lot of games this season in moments where they've not been at their best, and they got a bit of karma. So happy days, people. Manchester United have beaten Liverpool at Anfield 2-1. Amorim finally wins back-to-back games. Could this be the start of something? Could Amorim be right when he says Could Amorim be right when he says it's a mentality thing? We also miss chances, Bruno, Mount, I agree. Could Amorim be right when he says it's a mentality thing? Could these back-to-back wins give Manchester United the confidence boost, the mentality boost that they need to go on a run? Because we've got difficult games. We've got the likes of Brighton, we've got the likes of Crystal Palace, and we've got the likes of Tottenham next. 3 teams that we didn't beat last season. We didn't beat Brighton last season, we didn't beat Palace last season, and we tried about 1 million times versus Spurs, and we didn't beat Spurs last season. So it's 3 difficult games. Is this win going to do something mentally for the squad that's going to get us over that hurdle? Are we finally going to go on a run of games under Amorim where we succeed? We did technically win 3 games under Amorim when we beat Southampton. We won a game in the Europa League after, and we won a game in the FA Cup after. I think that might have been Arsenal. But we've never won back-to-back Premier League games under Amorim. Can we go and make it 3 and push for Europe? And because all of a sudden, if we get 3 games in a row, 3 wins in a row, we're in a really good position in the league table. Now, some people are saying, but look, the second half wasn't the best. We had a bit of luck. They're still concerned. They think this was a one-off. They're not even worried about the big games. They think it's the smaller games that we struggle with, and they're still concerned. Other fans are saying maybe this is going to be the boost we need for our season to drive forward. And I hope it is the boost we need for our season to drive forward, because no matter what I've said about Amorim and what my feelings are on the manager, I want nothing more than Amorim to succeed. Even if I have question marks over the manager, even if I don't think he's the guy, even if I'm not convinced by what I've seen, there's nothing more than I want Amorim to succeed and this club to be successful. I don't want to sack another manager. I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up of losing. I want to win games. I want to go on a winning run of form, you know? I saw someone mention this the other day. Man United's all-round performance versus Arsenal was better, but we didn't win. We got it, and it's true. I think we played better versus Arsenal than we did against Liverpool, but we didn't win versus Arsenal because we couldn't score, because Arsenal are defensively strong. Liverpool are defensively vulnerable, and that's why I was annoyed a little bit in the second half that we sat off too much, because I felt that we could get a second because they were defensively vulnerable. I agree, but I want to talk about a few of our new players. I want to talk about a few of our new signings. I want to talk about the game, how I think we did. But I also want to talk about Takeover news, because big updates coming in regards to the UAE and their plans to buy United. Brighton is a bogey game. The thing is, if you ask me, the 3 biggest bogey teams for Man United, it's Brighton, because I can't remember the last time we beat them. We keep losing 3-1 to them, I feel like. Palace, because I can't remember the last time we beat Palace in the league. And Tottenham. I can't remember we haven't beat Tottenham in like 3 years. They are our 3 bogey teams, and they are our 3 teams next. So if we went and won 5 in a row and Mr. United Strand can cut his hair off, fantastic, because these next 3 games are almost a bigger test than like an Anfield or an Emirates, because we are often up for Anfield, Emirates, Etihad. We have had results at the Etihad recently. We are often up for the Arsenal and Liverpool games. We got a draw at Anfield last year. Don't get me wrong. We are often up for those kind of games, but I think the next 3 games is the most telling. We just know Welbeck's going to score. Welbeck's going to get his annual goal against United. He loves a goal versus Man United and Chelsea and the big times. We're going to talk about Le Mans, very good keeper, very good performance as well. Should Le Mans have started as soon as he arrived, maybe we would have won more games. I don't think we would have beat City. I think the performance was atrocious, and I don't think we would have beat Brentford because I think the performance was atrocious. However, I do think that Le Mans would have saved one of the ones versus Brentford that Baindy could not save. But I do think it's no coincidence that Le Mans has started 2 games and it's the first time we won back-to-back games because we have a keeper that is clearly feeling the defence with more confidence and isn't an idiot at the back. We do play better when we have a good goalkeeper that keeps us in the game and a fighting chance. And it's true, there's maybe a mentality thing of we can play really well, but we know Anana or Baindy could mess it all up. Whereas with Le Mans, maybe there's a bit of confidence there that they can play well, and maybe someone can back it up. But yeah, let's dive into news. Let's dive into updates. I mean, it's 2 games, but he's changed lives. Let's hope he keeps this up. But 2 games, it's very good 2 games. So I completely agree with what Jamie Redknapp said here. With Mbeumo and Cunha, they now have players who seem to deserve the United shirt. The team looks more and more solid. There are still a few missing pieces from the puzzle, but we can see more positivity. We need 2 midfielders. We need 2 midfielders and we need a left wing back. For me, Semenyo, Wharton, Baleba. Semenyo, Wharton, Baleba is what we need. Don't get me wrong, but Jamie Redknapp said with Mbeumo and Cunha, they now have players who just seem to deserve the United shirt. The team looks more solid. There are still a few pieces missing from the puzzle, but we can see the positivity. And I completely agree with Jamie Redknapp. I've seen Cunha get stick. I've seen Chelsea fans and Liverpool fans tweeting on the timeline, what does Cunha do? Cunha's just as big as a flop as Wirtz. The Liverpool fans are justifying Wirtz by using Cunha because Cunha hasn't got goals and assists. I'm sorry. I actually think Wirtz has been better than he gets credit for. I just don't think he's been great. I don't think he's been as bad as people make out. But Cunha's performance is 10 times that of what we've seen from Wirtz and Isak. I'm sorry. Just because he didn't get a goal and assist doesn't mean you can lump Cunha with Wirtz and Isak. When Cunha was holding up the ball, had about 5 players around and was constantly being fouled. When you're playing Liverpool, you need somebody that's going to take the pressure off you a little bit and hold the ball further up and drive the ball up the pitch and get the ball up the pitch and keep the ball. And that's what Cunha was doing. He was winning fouls. He was keeping the ball. Hello? It's weird. I thought someone just walked in my house there. He was drawing fouls and everything. I thought Cunha's performance was fantastic. I can't believe that there was people out there thinking that Cunha didn't have a good game because he didn't get goal and assist. Watch football with your eyes. Look at the hold-up. Look at the fouls won. Look at the battles that Cunha was in. He was absolutely crucial. He was absolutely crucial. And Mbeumo's been fantastic. And Mbeumo's got, obviously, good numbers for United already this season. You know, I was speaking to someone the other day and they said, oh, you know, Mbeumo's not getting the numbers this season for Man United because he's not on penalties. He's got 4 goal contributions for us this season. Like, he's, you know, it's nothing crazy, but he's got 4 goal contributions for us. He scored 3 goals and none of them were penalties. Had he taken penalties and not Bruno, he could be on 7 goal contributions for us for the season. So for a team that doesn't score many goals, I think Mbeumo's been fine. But I thought that with Cunha and Mbeumo, we had top players. You know, people are trying to call Cunha and Mbeumo flops, and I don't know why. I just think I think there's people out there that don't watch Man United play, see where Man United are on the league table, and are like, yeah, he's a flop, he's a flop, he's a flop. And it's like, well, they're not. Like, just because we're here in the league table doesn't make Mbeumo a flop, doesn't make Cunha a flop. But there's people out there that will see that and think, like, same with Sesko early days, and they just write them as flops. The flops yesterday were Wirtz and Isak. Not Cunha and Mbeumo. They were fantastic, and it's good to see Jamie Carragher giving them praise because we saw a good level performance. I don't think you can call Liam Delap a Chelsea flop when he's been injured. It's also too early to call Wirtz and Isak a flop. I think Wirtz hasn't been as bad as the internet makes out, but I think when you pay that kind of money for someone like Florian Wirtz, he needs to stop ghosting. What's Jamie Gittins done for Chelsea? Nothing. Yeah, like, look, Cunha and Mbeumo have done more than Gittins, more than Isak, more than Wirtz, more than Delap. They've done more than a lot of people, so I agree. It was a poor game from Isak. I think Le Mans did well to put him off, though, with his opportunity. But to be fair to Isak, Liverpool aren't giving him the service. Isak is not getting the service at Liverpool that he got at Newcastle, which might surprise people. I loved this quote from Mbeumo, by the way. Scoring in front of Liverpool fans and silencing them was nice. That is the mentality I love. That is the mentality I absolutely love from a Man United player. He was loving it. Salah was shy. Salah was bad. I mean, he did have that opportunity that was really bad. I think Le Mans put him off, but Salah was bad. I can't lie. He's been shocking this season. I said at the beginning of the season I'm going to go with Haaland over Salah in FPL. I had a feeling that Salah was dropping off and Haaland was going to be on the up. And I'm glad I did that because I'm top of my FPL and I'm like third in another group. But yeah, I mean, Salah was bad. And Buemo was the best winger on the pitch. And Buemo was Gakpo. To be honest, Gakpo was pretty good. He was just unlucky. How Gakpo didn't have a hat trick. The thing is, and on another day, Gakpo gets a hat trick and we lose that 3-2. That's the mad thing. But we haven't had luck all season. There's been a lot of games where I think we've actually been okay, and we've not had that luck. Bruno's missed 2 penalties this season, and Bruno never misses penalties. We arguably should have got a penalty versus Arsenal, and arguably we should have got a point versus Arsenal. When I look at how unlucky we've been this season, I felt we deserved a bit of luck versus Liverpool with Gakpo hitting the post, if we're going to be honest. I mean, what did you guys make of Dalot's performance? Second half, he was solid. I'll give it to Dalot. In the second half, when we needed to defend, he was solid. The first half from Dalot, he was Liverpool's best player. Diogo Dalot's first half, he was Liverpool's best player. I was sitting there like, oh my, like Dalot was going to cost us this, but it was much better. I did a match review and I said that Le Mans impressed me the most, followed by Amad and Boomer on the right. And Amarin actually came out after the game and said that he didn't want to sub Amad off because he was playing so well, but he didn't want to take any risks with him having to defend a lot of 1v1s while being on a yellow card, which is fair, which is why Dalot stayed on. But I thought Dalot did quite well defensively in the second half, and I thought Dalot's first half was atrocious. Like, I honestly don't know how Dalot didn't get hooked at half time, but he did slow Gakpo down a little bit in the second half. We saw the impact of a good goalkeeper in Le Mans. I thought De Ligt was solid. Maguire's getting a lot of praise, rightly so, because he scored the goal. But I actually thought De Ligt was defensively. I thought De Ligt was the best of our 3 centre backs. I think. One sec, guys. One sec. Bear with me. I just need to check. Right, she's back. Sorry about that. Someone kept knocking on my door. I don't know if you could hear it in the background, but someone was knocking on my door and it was annoying me. So I just wanted to check. It was just a bloody delivery, but they knocked on the door like 3 times and I was like, what? Is there something important there? Le Mans was really good. Nothing fantastic, just solid. It felt so much more I felt so much more comfortable in corners. I agree. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a good game. I mean, look, I'm not Amarin's biggest fan, but I'm happy we won. If we win loads of games and Amarin survives, I'm happy because we're winning games. The reason I'm Amarin out is because we weren't winning games. And if Amarin starts winning games, then I will be behind Amarin. The reason I was not behind Amarin is 34 points on 33 games as a Manchester United manager is absolutely atrocious. But if we're winning games, I'm happy. Am I happy with the way we're playing? Am I happy with the all-round performance? Probably not. Am I happy with the treatment of Kobe and Xerxes? Not particularly, no. Am I happy with some of his lineups? No. But if he keeps winning games, he will shut me up. And look, I've not seen enough from this win versus Liverpool and this win versus Sunderland for me to think that Amarin is going to turn it around and we're miraculously going to have a good season. There's not enough I've seen there to convince me. But we've had really good 20-minute spells in every game this season. It's like if we could play like that across the 90, then there is something there. But where I have concerns with Amarin, and I'm going to praise Amarin because, he won versus Liverpool. He's won at Anfield. He's won at the Etihad. No manager's done that currently in the league. But where I will have concerns is second half. So I think like the first half versus Fulham was fantastic. In the second half, Fulham came out with a high press and they caused us a lot of issues and we had a really bad second half versus Fulham. The first half versus Burnley was fantastic. Ruben Amorim didn't change his tactical approach. Burnley did. They all of a sudden tried to overload the midfield and we didn't have answers for that. The Brentford game was atrocious and we didn't change anything up at half time. We still did the same thing. The City game was atrocious and we still kept trying the same thing. He was just changing centre-backs to see if we'd have a better game. And I think the Liverpool second half was bad and Amarim wasn't making the changes that needed to be made in that second half. And when Liverpool scored, I was like, well, we all knew that was coming. Amarim should have made the changes. It was cowardly from Amarim, but ultimately we won the game. So Look, I think Amarin's in-game management, I think Amarin's ability to adapt in second halves, and when the opposition's changed their approach against us, we still do the same thing and don't have an answer to it, is concerning. But we're winning games. What did you think about Mason Mount's performance? I think it was quiet. I think Mount's been very good, but I didn't really notice him. He almost scored a goal, but yeah. We are going to talk about the UAE because we're literally halfway through the video and I have not spoken about that news. I've been too busy talking about our win over Liverpool, but I do want to get into the UAE news. But when you beat Liverpool at Anfield, which we haven't done in 10 years, we've got to spend at least 15 minutes talking about it. But yeah, look, I want to talk about Le Mans quickly, give him a shout out, and yeah. Amarin on Le Mans, he showed a lot of character and quality. We also won thanks to him. And I think we did. I think he played a part. I think he really put Salah off when Salah had an absolutely awful attempt. He put Isak off and saved the Isak 1v1. People say he would have come off his line quicker. But when you have a goalkeeper that all of a sudden is making the saves that should be easy saves to make and is making claims from corners, it makes a difference. I felt the defence was so much more confident with him behind because they know he's going to claim. They know when he saves the ball, he's going to push it away from the danger zone rather than save it and place it right back in the box for the opposition striker to tap it in. I think that Le Mans is giving the team confidence. They've seen him in training. They see how hard he works. I think right now it's been really impressive. And the good thing about Le Mans is as well, Vitek's been really good on loan. So we could have some really good options in goal next season, Le Mans versus Vitek, potentially. The Liverpool game was huge for Cunha. I think he's found his role and place in the team. I thought he was the best player in the second half and he had a really good game despite no goal and assist. I think he adds a lot, especially in those big games. He's the type of guy that could come out of a moment to win a game, but also holds the ball well, and I agree with that. I thought it was a very, very good game from Cunha. And again, people, you know if someone's got good ball knowledge if they say Cunha had a good game. If rivals are telling you that Cunha was bad, they either didn't watch the game or they got awful ball knowledge. Because Cunha was phenomenal versus Manchester United. And because people judge football off stats, it's crazy. But Cunha was phenomenal versus Liverpool, sorry. Ruben Amorim is the only manager to win a win away from home at both Anfield and Etihad across the last 5 seasons. Another interesting stat there. But Le Mans and Vitek in goal, good signs. Le Mans was good. Cunha on the ball is good. He kept the ball well. Sometimes Cunha does things that I guess can be considered frustrating, but I thought that Cunha was very, very good. We need to score more goals, though, Alice. Our goal difference is -1. I really want to see United having plus 15 goal difference because it means we're winning games and scoring goals. I agree. You can win games all you want, but I think goal difference is a metric of sustainability. I think the team that normally has the best goal difference at the halfway mark is often the team that will win the league because it kind of shows how much better they've been. So I agree. My big area of concern is we need to score more goals. But 3 points is probably the most important thing, but probably get more goals and more clean sheets. We've only got 1 this season, would be nice as well. But yeah, I mean, I thought Le Mans was excellent. I thought he showed a nice amount of character. I think there's a lot of really good positives about that win, which is nice to see because I think we've been negative for so long that then when we can sit here and actually say positive things about Manchester United, it's just nice. It's just nice to say, oh, we were good at this. We were good at that. This worked well. That worked well. It's actually so nice to sit here and praise Cunha and praise Mbuemo and praise our players. It's so nice to do that. Cunha does do those things because we're risky playing. That's what we brought him for exactly. Salah stink when Hook. Salah was bad. Cunha's good on the ball. I mean, how Gakpo didn't equalise for them is crazy, but I don't care. So yeah, what I want to talk about is why this is exciting. We beat Liverpool for the first time in 10 years at Anfield. We've got lots of reasons to be excited, back-to-back games, and it's just a time to be excited. But also, it could be a time of change inside United. The UAE-based consortium aiming to buy Manchester United is still assembling and securing funds before approaching the Glazers. They plan to include prominent former players as ambassadors in the takeover progress, was said by The Guardian. So what The Guardian is reporting is that the UAE are in for Man United. They're doing some bits and bobs, and then they're going to approach the Glazers and potentially make a bid. The UAE, it's been confirmed, are reaching out to Manchester United legends, are assembling funds, are planning to make a bid to buy Manchester United. Now, this is big news. Do we know if the Glazers will accept a bid? Well, it depends what the bid is. Do we know if they'll make a big bid, or if it's going to be a silly little bid? And do we know if they're bidding for a full sale or minority investment? I don't know. But the talk and the whispers around is that the UAE want to buy Manchester United. They're getting people involved. They're preparing a big bid. And the Glazers are open to selling Manchester United if a certain price tag is hit. And the UAE are one of the people that can hit that price tag. Because we also had from Jamie Jackson of The Guardian that Eric Cantona has been approached by a consortium of investors based in the UAE to act as an ambassador for a potential bid to buy United. So again, not just the win versus Liverpool, but we've got big developments coming in regards to this takeover. Now, I'm not saying that anything's going to happen. I'm not saying that anyone's going to go out and buy Manchester United. I'm not saying that UAE is going to buy Manchester United. But what I am saying is something is going on. Now, that something going on could be that the UAE are just sort of using Man United for a bit of media attention, this and that, and they have no actual intention of buying United. It could mean that they're looking to buy a minority in Man United, or it could mean they're looking to buy a full sale. But the UAE has been reaching out to club legends. Eric Cantona, I think Beckham is another one they're trying to get on board. The UAE is reaching out to club legends, is reportedly preparing a bid and getting funds together to prepare a bid. And we do know from that really good report by The Athletic that between now and February 2027 is the Glazers' best time to sell the club, and it might be when they look to sell the club and force Jim Ratcliffe out. So Eric Cantona is being approached, and that's been confirmed by multiple sources. There's something going on. This Dubai UAE might buy Man United rumours, we've kind of ignored a little bit. Because we're like, well, we've been told this so many times for nothing to happen. And there's still a strong possibility that nothing is going to happen, and we're just being told this for nothing to happen. But we know that they're actually reaching out to people. They're actually bringing people together and planning to get the money to make a bid. So they're actually doing something. Whether they make a bid, whether the bid they make gets accepted, whether anything happens is unknown. But right now, we've beat Liverpool. They've got the UAE actually looking at buying Manchester United, getting people involved. There's a lot happening, and I think there's potentially a lot to be excited for if we can get those Glazers out of the club for good. For me, I just want the Glazers gone for good. I think the lack of denial from United is clear. Any sale would take that long anyway. So, light the blue touch paper, please. UAE. What's so light? What does the light the blue touch paper, please, UAE? What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. But the lack of denial from Man United is clear. Any sale would take very long. Any sale would take long, but United aren't denying it. United haven't commented on anything, but they're not denying anything. There's been a lot of rumours, and normally when there's rumours about Man United, we have Ornstein and Romano say within 24 hours, fake news. Indy Caller's come out with stuff like Bruno's agreed to join Saudi. Within 24 hours, Romano was like, that's fake news. How many times has a big news story come out, whether it's been Takeover, whether it's been transfer news, whether it's been this news, that news, and within 24 hours, you'll have Laurie Whitwell, Romano, or Ornstein come out and say that is not true, that they've heard nothing about this story. You've had The Athletic come out and actually talk about the fact that the UAE is interested in Manchester United, and actually talk about the fact that there are clubs interested in Manchester United, and the Glazers are considering selling. The UAE are looking to invest in sport, real estate, entertainment, technology. They're looking to invest in a lot of things. And for me, something is going on. I don't know if this will be a full sale. I don't know if they will make a bid. I don't know if we're being used. But something is going on because it's not been denied by the club. But it might not be a full sale. It might be they're just looking to buy this or that, or they're looking to have an involvement, or looking to invest in the new stadium or sponsor the new stadium. But, it's difficult to trust the Glazers, and I feel like the Glazers are never going to sell this club. It feels like they're never going to leave. But the fact that the UAE is actually contacting club legends and putting together funding for Manchester United says to me, well, they wouldn't be doing that unless they're planning on making a bid. And the fact that Romano, Ornstein, and The Athletic have not denied this, which would normally be denied by now, and actually some sources are sort of adding to the fact that the UAE have interest in United, there's something there. It doesn't mean they're going to buy Man United. It doesn't mean the Glazers are going to leave. But what it does mean is it's universally known by all the good journalists that the UAE have interest in Man United and the Glazers could be open to selling. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know if it's going to happen, but it's not being denied. It's not being rubbished as a completely made up rumour. I don't know what you're on about. The UAE has no interest in buying United, which would normally be said. But they're saying, well, there is interest there, but we don't know if they're looking to buy Man United. There's interest there. And that is big. That is absolutely big for Manchester United. The oil was running out, hence why they're looking at portfolios to invest in business. I think tourism and sport is where the Middle East is looking to go. They're looking to own the Western world. Most of this is to drum up online support. My guess is limited traction on this so far, nowhere near advanced. There is the fear that, Qatar were using United for the attention and the UAE may use United for the attention. But for me, we'll have to wait and see. There is that fear of, are they just enjoying being linked to Manchester United? Or are they actually serious about getting us? Because people do like the attention. There's that Thomas Silicus or whatever he's called. What was his name? I don't know. He loves, every time there's rumours of United takeover, he loves to go and come out and say anything because he just loves the attention. But he's got no interest in buying United. The Michael Knightons and some other guy, Silicus or something, he's got no interest in buying United. So there is that fear of, the Middle East using United for a little bit of, paper clicks. Do you think the Glazers will leave? I hope so, but I don't know what to say to that. For me, anything to get rid of the Glazers is a positive. However, we've been here and heard this sort of thing before. Romainer may not be saying anything simply because he's nothing to report yet. I think that's probably true. I think the reason Romano's not saying anything is because he's got nothing to report. He's not been told, shut this down, this is a BS rumour, which Romano would normally get told by United, which makes me think there is something ongoing. But Romano's clearly not being told what is ongoing. For me, I think something is happening, but I don't think it's very advanced. I know Turkey came out and said it's advanced. I don't think it's advanced. I think something is happening. I think conversations are ongoing, but I don't think anything's advanced. And unless a bid comes in, I don't think United are going to comment on it until it seems to be advanced. Takeover is a really long process. It involves approval from the Premier League, UEFA. Also, since we have huge debt, it will be a while for them to change the books so that new owners can offset it. True. And I also think with them wanting to do it by February 2027, we won't have enough time to do that, which could complicate things. Do you think Jim Ratcliffe will be effed over by the Glazers? I mean, the Glazers will happily F over anyone, so there's definitely a possibility of that. I want to get into some final stories. Amorim, according to Fabrizio Romano, does consider Xerxes and Meno crucial players to the project and doesn't want them to leave. They're not complaining or causing problems, but they do have desire to play in the 2026 World Cup. But Amorim doesn't want them to leave. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in January with the likes of Meno and with the likes of Xerxes. It was also said by Ruben Amorim after the game that he's really happy that we won. He loves to see the players happy. This is what he enjoys the most. And then he did say that there's really bad music in the dressing room, which was quite funny. But I think it's a good day to be a United fan. I think there's a lot of positive vibes, and I think we just got to make the most of this positive moves, the positive vibes in the camp. There's talk of the UAE, there's talk of the Glazers leaving, there's talk of the clubs being sold. We've beaten Liverpool, we've won back-to-back games. Cunha was great and Boomer was great. The new signings are doing well. I think it's a situation where it's like, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, because I don't know when we're next going to win back-to-back games. We might go and lose our next few games. We might go and win our next few games. So let's enjoy everything. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.